Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Hope your Saturday is off to a magnificent start. LSU at Texas A&M in hoops today. Big one for the Tigers. I think it's a must-get. Not only today, but also Tuesday with Florida coming into the Maravich Center. A couple of games that you really feel like you got to get. And Pels lose last night on their home floor to the Nets. Shorthanded Pels, no Zion, no BI. Hoping to get those guys back soon, man. Or at least BI. We know Zion's going to be out for at least 3 weeks. Then they'll reevaluate him then. But you got a pretty brutal stretch looking you straight in the face here after that loss last night. Now you get 5 straight road games. And you're home for a game against Miami, then back-to-back road games, Orlando, Miami. So 7 of your next 8 are on the road. So you lost 108-102. I mean, defensively, to start the second half, it was a pretty poor effort. KD just kind of took over. But long and short of it is you'll be much better, obviously, with Zion and Brandon Ingram, your 2 best players on the floor. And 102 points against a team like Brooklyn just ain't going to cut it. So disappointing. It's a really good first half, but Brooklyn in particular, Durant came alive in the second half. So, all right, we're going to say some good mornings. I apologize. I think Drew is awake. So I know we just started, but hang on 1 second, please. Let me go get him out of bed, and I'll be right back. So forgive me 1 second. I'll be right back. Out of that show? No. Okay. Huh? Oh. That's all right. What? Use your words. Use your words. What do you want? Okay, in here. Okay. 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 Sorry about that. Drew picked a rather inconvenient time to try to wake up. Okay, we'll say some good mornings here. Appreciate everybody for being here as always. Tim Gotro, Trivia Carter, good morning. Glad Muso's okay. Maybe someone should childproof the pecan king cakes. Muso ate, so our friends at Rouse's were wonderful to us. They've been an amazing partner, and they brought a ton of king cakes up to the studio yesterday. I mean, like I mean, they brought, I think, 6 for AFR alone. Maybe 4. Yeah, 4. They brought 4 for AFR. And so there was King Cakes for Hunt and Hill and Hester and T-Bob and Eagle Mine 8.1. I mean, everybody. And Musso got into a king cake, and he has apparently a pecan allergy. And he texted me and was like, hey, man, you had Benadryl? I was like, no, man, don't take Benadryl. You can be falling asleep at the board. I figured he just had like an allergy, like a sinus thing. And he's like, no, I need Benadryl. I ate pecans. I had no idea he had a pecan allergy. But anyway, his face was all swollen. He was splotchy. It was like, oh my God, dude, go to, it's like, go to Walgreens right now. Go get Benadryl. So like, Muse, read the labels. He just thought it was a cinnamon king cake. Yeah, but he's fine. It's good to know. Greg T, really like LSU, plus 5.5. Am I being Homer? Yeah, I mean, of course you are. That's why you should never bet on your team. You're never going to be objective. Like I would have loved to bet the Pelicans last night getting points at home, but there was no way I was going to do that because I can't be objective. And honestly, without Zion, without BI, against a Nets team which has been streaking, had won 12 in a row, before they lost to Chicago. I mean, I'm not surprised they lost the game without their 2 best players. So, anyway, I would love to think that LSU is able to go on the road and win, but winning on the road in the league is hard, and A&M just did that winning at Florida. So, I'd love for LSU to win it, but there's no way I'd bet that game. Wendell Norman, Brett DeGrow, Joey Metke, Rappin' Batches, C. Wilk. What's up? Saturday suck. Now you got NFL today. Got 2 NFL games. A really good one at 3:30 with Chiefs Raiders, which has massive implications, and then tonight, of course, Tennessee and Jacksonville with division championship implications. So 2 great NFL games tonight or today. You got LSU basketball 5 o'clock. So get some honeydews done. Go take care of yourself early today. We're going to get Drew a haircut. Got some work I got to get done, and then I'll be watching NFL later. Raymond, morning Scone. I see Nuss and Sage Ryan similar, both highly touted. Both haven't quite lived up to the hype yet. Thoughts? So Raymond, I kind of pushed back a little on the rating thing, and I know people have said that about Sage, and the other one that comes up oftentimes is Cardell Thomas, because he was at one point a 5-star. And look, he was a very vocal member of his signing class, right? I mean, he was kind of the Pied Piper, did a lot of interviews, was very active on social media, and it just hasn't really transitioned. But that's not those kids' fault. It's not that they're not trying hard or anything. They, they just, it was a clearly misevaluation. And I'm not even say misevaluation on Sage Ryan. I mean, Sage Ryan's played a bunch. He's just a young guy who isn't a dominant player yet. Maybe that'll come for him. And as far as Nuss, I mean, I think Nuss has proven he can play at this level. It's just when he'll get his opportunity. Russell Doloff, what's going on? Brennan Huff, no college football today is depressing. Joey B19, what road venue would you like to go see LSU baseball play at this year? Pull up the schedule just to make sure I know which ones which are the road series this year. Let's see. They play. They're at A&M, home against Arkansas, home against Tennessee, at South Carolina, home against Kentucky, at Ole Miss, home against Bama, at Auburn, home against Mississippi State. And then at Georgia. At Georgia, not because their ballpark is anything special, just because Athens is a great town. But of all those, I would probably tell you I'd want to go to A&M. I think I'd love to see a series at A&M's ballpark. I think that Bluebell ballpark they built there is gorgeous. I'd probably like to see a series there. Truax, what's up, man? Kelly Gross, good morning. Dale Broussard, beautiful weather for golf. Yeah, how about that, man? Go swing the sticks this morning, man. And then get ready for some NFL later. Quentin Breakbill, Ryan Amanda Guidry, Patrick Cason, Jeremy Sagely. Morning, Matt. We'll get a football Saturday, not college football, but I'll take what I can get. Hey, Dad, good morning. Bubba Smith, Bubba Tatum, good morning. Fall has finally arrived in Florida. I love it. Patrick Cason Drew always comes first. I mean, it kind of does. That's true. Craig Dugas, Matt, do you agree or disagree with the saying, make friends first, make sales second, make love third, in no particular order? Respect, Craig, respect. Let's see. YouTube, do me a favor, smash that like button if you would. Facebook, please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. Strong side, good morning, Jesse Brown. Morning, Matt. Hope you and the family are well. Get to watch the Saints Sunday since it's Carolina. Hope we finish strong. Yeah, listen, man, I'm obviously pulling for the Saints to win. I know that may sound funny to some, but there's some fans who are going to pull against their team. They're going to want the Saints to lose for draft positioning or for a bad look for Dennis Allen or whatever the case may be. I guess the Saints, I've just come to accept it. The Saints are not going to fire Dennis Allen. He's going to be back next year. I think he's going to make changes. He's going to have to make some changes on his coaching staff. And I'd rather see them trend up. So, yeah, I would love to see them go beat Carolina and feel like they're reestablishing their footing, as opposed to what they were, for the first 12 weeks of the season. 13 weeks of the season. Devin Kelly, good morning. Austin Kidder, good morning. Brett DeGrow. Matt, I know you are a friend of Ryan Clark. Saw his interview about firing O and hiring Brian Kelly in the current program direction. Why does this guy always bring racial angle to everything? Brett, I don't understand. What do you mean you saw the interview? Like, what interview? I mean, this is a year-old conversation. And Brett, and I will tell you point blank that when Ryan was on AFR, he wanted them to hire Billy Napier, who's a white guy. So I don't really follow. And he was very complimentary of Brian Kelly as well. He was a great coach. As I recall, his thing was LSU had an opportunity to do something different and go younger, more diverse hire, whatever. It wasn't go hire a black man. The person who wanted LSU to go hire a black man was President Tate. I mean, he was the one who was pushing for that. He has an initiative at the University of inclusiveness and to try to push for women and minority hires and things like that. And that's great, by the way. I'm not in any way, of course, inclusiveness is a great thing. Who doesn't want inclusiveness? But doing that just for the sake of checking a box, I'm not down with. But the thing about O and Brian Kelly, I mean, RC wanted them to hire Billy Napier. So anyway, that doesn't really hold water. Armstrong Grappling, what's going on? Does TCU cover? I think so. I made a play on TCU. I got it at 13.5. I think TCU is not a Cinderella team. I think they're a legitimately really good football team. And I think Georgia's secondary has been exposed. And I think we thought Michigan's defense was this elite defense and TCU shredded them. So I think TCU is going to score points. Can that TCU defense hold up? They did for a half against Michigan, and then the floodgates opened for the Wolverines in the second half, which they've done a lot this year. They just allowed TCU to score 50. Yeah, you're going to give me double digits with TCU. I'm taking it. I think it's the right play. Greg T, is the GameCoin platform still looking good for the projected Q1 release? Yes, it is, Greg. Yes, it is. I'm not going to share a date, but there has been a date discussed. But I'm not going to share it because obviously I don't want to put a date out there and then something happened, don't hit it, and then it's like, and then there's disappointment surrounding not hitting a target. So, but yes. Let's see. Donald Amy, good morning. Devin Kelly, are you still using that filter thing? Hadn't heard you say anything about it in a while. You talking about my Aaron Service Pro, mycleanliving.net? Absolutely. I bought our Aaron Service Pro. It's in our den. I use it. Yeah, Devin, what's kind of amazing about it too? So that's, for those who don't know, it's the NASA technology inside the air purifier that neutralizes all different viruses. It was obviously a massive thing during COVID, but it kills all different pathogens. You go to mycleanliving.net if you're interested. And I have one in my office at work. It's the Fresh Air Mobile, which I keep on my desk at work. But they went heavy advertising, obviously, during COVID because it was so relevant at the time. But anyway, you can go to mycleanliving.net and see it. But the Air and Service Pro will also neutralize odors. So whenever I go to, ask Erica, whenever I go to Don Juan for whiskey and wine, when I come home, like this hat, my work bag, my shoes, all just reek of cigar smoke. So of course I put my clothes in the washing machine, but my shoes, my hat, my work bag, I put it on the Air and Surface Pro for about 30 minutes, and it takes the smoke odor out of all of it. It's incredible. I mean, it really is incredible. Mark Azub, I'd say I choose Omaha for my road venue to travel this season. Yes, sir. I think he specifically said in the SEC, though. Joey Metke, ordered my family a king cake from Rouse's all the way in Southern California. All right, Joey, appreciate that, man. Yeah, Rouse's has king cakes available. Again, Rouse's has been an incredible sponsor. They are actually, I believe now, the number one spending client at all of Guarantee Media. Rouse has been an incredible partner of ours. The trust they've shown in a lot of us, and us hopefully delivering for them, has been great. So yes, please support Rouse's. Great Louisiana business. And if you're getting your king cakes or you're sending king cakes to friends anywhere in the world, get them from Rouse's, rouses.com. You can order and ship anywhere in the world. Trivia Carter, what's going on? I will take the loss now for a better future because I will be checked out until they fire Dennis Allen. You see, Trivia, so in part, you know my feeling. I don't think they will ever win big under Dennis Allen, okay? However, I'm not going to, if they win, that's an obvious sign of progress under this staff. And I'm not going to, just as quickly as I was to criticize when they were faltering, if they do start to improve and turn around, I have to be equally quick to praise them when they do well. I mean, so I'm not checking out on my team. And they're not firing Dennis Allen after this year. So we all accept that reality and we go be better for it. Shelby Kelly, come on February 17th. So ready to see what Jay does with O. Jay does with O. With all this talent. Okay, I saw your second comment. Yes, Shelby, they're going to be very good. LSU baseball is what Shelby's referring to there. If you haven't done so yet, by the way, I'm going to shout this out again. Had a great convo with Jay Johnson for our Rosters to Riches podcast, the NIL podcast. I think we spent about 45 minutes with him. Recorded it before Christmas, dropped this week. I would highly recommend, if you're cutting the grass, driving around today, go to your favorite podcast app, search Rosters to Riches, subscribe up to the pod, and you'll see the Jay Johnson episode from this week. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Told great stories about Tommy White, about recruiting Paul Skeens, talked a lot of NIL, obviously, but I think it gives you some great insight into him as a coach. So check it out if you get a chance. Raymond, hey, Matt, I'm good with moving Derek Davis to running back. What about bulking him up, trying him at linebacker a la Eric Alexander? Dumb idea. So, Raymond, I saw Billy Embody mention that on Twitter and about potentially playing Derek Davis at linebacker. He came in here as a safety. They've played him some at running back, and now you're suggesting moving him to linebacker. I think, listen, hang on a second. I'm going to finish that thought. Hang on. Just got Abby from Sesame Street singing some song at like full throat. It's way too loud. Anyway, Derek Davis. That's one of those guys where he's at the point in his career now where pick a spot. I don't care what it is. Pick a spot. Don't do the thing with him you did with Russell Shepard. Well, is he a quarterback? Is he a receiver? Is he a running back? Is he back to receiver? Like, let the guy focus on the thing he's going to do. Like, as a staff, decide what he is. Decide what or what he wants to play. And if you don't see eye to eye and he transfers, great. And he may not be returning. I mean, I don't think he has made that announcement yet, by the way. I'll check on it, but I don't think he has. Davis entered the portal. Returned to play in the bowl game because he could play and not forfeit that year of eligibility. Yeah, so he hasn't announced yet, but he may still be in the portal. He may have just played in that game because they needed it and he could, and opportunity to be a competitor and go and actually get on the field and play. So I don't think Derek Davis. I don't know that he's back, but if you want to play him at linebacker and they think he can do it, okay. But I think more than anything, they need help with running back. But oh, sorry. Wait, hang on. Where am I? Sorry, I lost my spot. There. Okay, there we go. Sorry. I refreshed and I lost my spot on the comments. Jordan Wilkinson, any linebacker transfers we're looking at? I'm sure they will, Jordan. None that I know. No names that I could give you right now. Michael Richard, morning, Matt. Hope you have an awesome weekend. Michael Richard from the Best Bank of New Orleans. Who dat? Do you think the Saints will show some pride tomorrow now that they're out of the playoffs? I do, Michael. I think, remember, there's a couple things. Paul Nolan brought up a great point earlier this week. A lot of guys are playing for bonuses. A lot of guys have incentives as far as receptions, receiving yards, tackle, sacks, all this sort of stuff. So that incentivizes players. I think when you're a pro, you absolutely play for pride. I think the tough part for New Orleans is who's going to be out there. So we already know Andres Pete isn't going to play, and Paulson Adebo, they're both out. James Hurst, Ryan Ramczyk are questionable. Juwan Johnson's questionable. Marcus May is questionable. So, you may have a little bit of a skeleton squad out there depending on who actually gives it a go here in Week 18. So I think that's as big a thing to do as even more so than playing for pride, because I expect them to play hard. Craig Dugas, sorry, I'm on my 5th time binge watching The Office. Can't help but have Michael Scott quotes stuck in my head. Blaine Smith, best case scenario. Chargers and Cowboys both lose first round. Broncos, Chargers, Cowboys get in a bidding war for Peyton. Maybe even Arizona too. Yeah, I fully expect. I mean, look, Arizona paid Kingsbury a lot of money, but if they have the opportunity to get Sean Payton, I clearly think they do it. And when you mentioned 3 teams that are all potentially playoff teams, so or are all playoff teams, so your draft spot wouldn't be as high. I think the appeal would be, I think, the conversation we had earlier this week with Sean Salisbury is, what about the Houston Texans? You have the number 1 overall pick where they could draft Bryce Young, and they have Cleveland's pick, which I believe right now is slotted to be like 12. So what if they gave the Saints the 12th pick for Sean Payton? I'd do that. Kyle Taylor, morning, Matt. About the baseball away series, I think me and the fam might make a 2.5-hour trip to Columbia from Greensboro. Also, I'm digging the rosters to Rich's Pod. I'm listening to the interview with Jay Johnson currently at the Talking Baseball. It's something special. We got to go in. Yes, LSU definitely got to go in with Jay Johnson. And that South Carolina series should be fun. I'll tell you, when I was looking at the away series this year, as the guy was asking the question, A&M's ballpark's beautiful. Columbia would be a fun series as well, because remember when LSU opened the box, South Carolina like a year later followed suit with their beautiful park. Now the box in that park, I think they call it like Founders Park now. They renamed it, but it used to be maybe after some bank or something. But that was a team that won back-to-back national championships. I think in 10 and 11, I think. And they've had good success there and good history, and they love their baseball, and it's a good park, and that would be a fun one too. Brian Robert, if the Saints win, they go over the 7.5 total. That's another reason why I think a lot of people are interested in this game on Sunday. A lot of people have the Saints over their season win total. So the preseason projected win total for the Saints was 7.5. So a lot of people bet the season over. So they have a lot of rooting interest for the Saints on Sunday also. Let's see, Craig Dugas, RC's rant was more about schools doing actual interviews with minority candidates instead of going through the motions with no intention of hiring. Yeah, look, I mean, Craig, I think that's also the same issue with the Rooney Rule. I am, again, all for inclusiveness, but token interviews are insulting. But then again, sometimes those are like the example is Mike Tomlin, right? Mike Tomlin wasn't going to get the Steelers job. He was the DC in Minnesota. The Rooneys interviewed him, and he blew them away. And now he's been one of the best coaches of this era in the NFL. He's a Hall of Famer. So sometimes just having the conversation matters, right? Bubba Tatum last trip to Rouse is in Youngsville for my Christmas trip. They were putting out the first batch of king cakes. Had to get a few to take home. Kerry Hughes, anyone have access to 5 tickets for LSU Auburn basketball game? All right, we'll do a little ticket swap here. I don't carry, I'm sorry, man, but if anybody does, mention connect there with Kerry. Please smash that like button if you're there on YouTube. Appreciate y'all. Subscribe up to the Matt Moscona channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all. Blaine Smith, if Peyton goes to the Chargers, I'm hiring Staley immediately as OC for the Saints. Then you have a good OC with head coach experience in case Allen has a bad season again and gets fired. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Craig Rouse's all does queen cakes, which blow the regular king cakes out the water. Looks like a king cake, but the filling or topping is a cookie butter whipped buttercream concoction that will make your toes curl. A queen cake, huh? Okay. Gary Atchison, good morning. Great to be back. Ultra competitive in all sports again. Go Tigers. Yeah, man. Football, I think next year, as we've talked about, has a great chance to be the preseason favorite to win the West. I think LSU basketball this year, the men's team, I think they have a really good shot to be an NIT team. The women are beating everybody by 40 and could very well be a Final Four team this year. Are they ready to beat South Carolina? I don't know. Next year, look out. Baseball should be an Omaha team this year. And Beth always has softball in the running for OKC. So at gymnastics, I know gymnastics lost last night at Utah, but Jay Clark is phenomenal, and they're a super talented roster, and they'll be there. Yeah, man. Good time. C. Wilk, do you have a pair of Hey Dudes? I do not. DA, those are shoes, by the way. DA, Matt, do you think it's time to draft a kicker? Start replace Will Lutz. I think it's something to look into. Thanks. Well, here's the thing. Let me look at Lutz's contract. The disappointing thing about Lutz is he was having an incredible start to his career that basically missed all last year due to injury. Hang on a second. What's his backpack? Sorry about that. So a shout out to Brock, y'all, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. They're open today. After hours clinic, great alternative to the ER. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Great week for Hudco. I mean, terrible week, obviously, for roofs because of the rain earlier this week. But if you need a free No obligation roofing inspection, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Restored Motions, if you got pain, book a session with Crystal Poche. And ProCharge EV. But, if y'all missed it, real quick, go to Instagram, follow the ProCharge EV page or account. Terrio announced this yesterday. So ProCharge has a table at the LSU baseball first pitch banquet. So the coaches are there, the whole team's there. It's basically a big giant fundraiser for the baseball team. There's always a keynote. A couple years ago it was Bregman. I'm not sure who it is this year, but it's a great event. Auction, food, drinks, all included, everything. Great night at LeBerge. And Terrio is offering, they're going to give away 2 seats at their table. Terrio will be there. He invited me to come. I'll go. I mean, if there's room, I will absolutely go. But they're giving away 2 tickets. But to win them, you have to go follow the ProCharge Instagram account. And they're going to do a post, and it's going to be, there'll be instructions like you have to like the post and tag a friend or something like that, and then they're going to randomly draw for the 2 seats for the first pitch banquet. So if you're on Instagram, go follow the ProCharge account and get ready because the contest details are coming up. I think the first pitch banquet is maybe like January 22nd, so it's coming up in a few weeks. Okay. Will Lutz connected on about 80% of his field goals, 79.3% this year, long of 60. The thing about Lutz is he got his contract, right? And then he missed all last year due to injury, which was so disappointing. Let's see. Will Lutz's contract, he is a free agent after next season. So you're probably not there yet, man, to where you're looking at drafting a kicker. And you don't draft a kicker just to draft a kicker. I mean, if there's someone there that you value at a spot and you have a grade, and look, kickers aren't usually drafted. Like Cade York going in round 4 or whatever was the highest drafted kicker in like a decade. So you don't typically see that. But if you have a kicker come in who has some incredible workouts and can beat out Will Lutz, okay, but I don't know that you're using an asset to draft a kicker right now. Where are we? Trivia Carter, Dennis Allen will continue to put a bad product on the field. I mean, they haven't been a bad product for the last month, Trivia. I mean, you have to acknowledge that, especially defensively, they've been great. And there's an argument to be made that if they can figure out quarterback this offseason and improve there, they could be a playoff team again because they essentially missed the playoffs this year by a game for the 2nd year in a row. Brett DeGros, DA will always be a 500 coach at best. Mike could, Pop. Mike could. I love the South. Mike could. Yeah, I mean, but never winning a title? Probably not. How many coaches do? Or maybe he's turning the corner. I don't know. I tend to agree. Like, I'm the guy who said he's a lieutenant, not a general. I don't think he'll ever win. I also can't ignore the fact that they've won 3 in a row. The defense has started to look elite again. They're allowing an average of 13 points a game over the last 5. And all this with Andy Dalton at quarterback. So we'll see. Armstrong grappling, rosters to riches episode with Jay Johnson was unreal. Guy is different. Could turn out to be the next Saban of NCAA baseball. Yeah, we made that comparison ever since he was hired, man. There's a lot of those similarities. Barry Jocelyn, morning, Matt. Watch every day. Always smash the like button. Question, any idea what Coach O is up to these days? Love the show. Keep up the great work. # Team Drew. Yeah, O's down in Destin. He's got his place in Destin. That's where he's primarily spending most of his time. This past college football season, he bounced around a lot. Spent time in Miami, spent a weekend up in South Bend, just kind of visited a lot of different places. I think Lane Kiffin would hire him in an instant, but he's not going to go back to Ole Miss. Nick Saban would hire him, but Ed's not going to coach for Alabama because he hates Alabama. I mean, even how it ended at LSU, he's still an LSU Tiger. And, as a fan, you got to respect and love that. So, I was asking somebody maybe a week and a half ago about Ed, and if they thought, someone close to Ed, if they thought he'd coach again. It was not Derek, by the way. If they thought he would coach again next year, and the answer was no. So I think he'd probably sit out again. So, dude's got a ton of money, and kind of living his best life down the beach, and he may resurface somewhere, and the itch may come, but to get back in it. But there was also it was described kind of like a pride thing. When you've been at the top of the mountain, you want to go back down and be a position coach. Not everybody's okay with doing that, so we'll see. Joey Metke, any plans to have Brian Kelly on the air in the offseason? Yeah, Joey, I would love to. And I think he'll do it. He's been very accommodating to us. It's really going to be a matter of timing. But yes, I would love to. I think there is a plan to do that. Pat Huseman, speaking of LSU baseball, big congrats to Antoine Duplantis and his bride getting married tonight. Okay. Brian Penton, good morning from Champaign, Illinois. Barry Jocelyn watching in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. Joey B19, did you see they changed the rules for hosting where the highest seed is the designated home team? I did. I can't believe it took this long in the existence of the world. So what Joey B19 is referring to there is in regionals and super regionals, the host school was not always the home team. They would alternate, and sometimes it would come down to a coin flip. So now the higher seed is always the home team, which, of course, the higher seed should be the home team. You're the higher seed. You've earned that right. It's stunning to me that was ever a thing. But yes, that's great news. Larry Francis, good morning. Raymond at Scone, I thought Emory played really well at right tackle. If Hurd is advertised, could he move to guard with Bradford going pro? Sure, that's a possibility. Hurd playing guard is a possibility. Emory Jones playing guard and Hurd playing tackle is a possibility. Remember, you've also got Garrett Dellinger and Miles Frazier back. So I don't know that Lance Hurd starts the season as one of your starters. I think you're looking at Will Campbell, Miles Frazier, Charles Turner, Garrett Dellinger, Emory Jones. I mean, that's your starter. That would presumably be your starting five. Now, it could change, of course, but, if Lance Hurd is your next up and Marlon Martinez maybe is an interior guy, good look. But I'm told they're still looking at the portal for transfer linemen. Shane O'Mac, good morning. I say keep Will Lutz. Too many NFL games or one-score games. We saw last year how many games we lost due to bad kicking. He did have a slightly down year, but he's been consistent. I mean, he was on an historic pace to start his career before the injury. So, dedicate himself. Look, he's got one more year under his contract. So, go have a great year next year and see how he rallies. Shane O'Mac, Reed Rule. Let's see. Educated guess on baseball weekend rotation or too early to tell? Yeah. So, I did just spend 45 minutes with Jay Johnson to record a podcast. So if I had to guess, I think they would go Paul Skeens Friday. I think Ty Floyd's going to be your Saturday guy. And Thatcher Hurd, the UCLA transfer, would be your day 3 guy. Which is stunning because Thatcher Hurd is a Friday night guy. And he'd be your Sunday guy, probably. I think that's how it would look. And it could obviously change. Terrio said yesterday that he sat with Wes Johnson, the baseball coach, at the basketball game a couple nights ago, and at the women's game, and told him Garrett Edwards is throwing 99. Garrett Edwards, remember Garrett Edwards? I think Pitkin, just the long whip-like action, kind of a bulldog competitor style, upper 80s, low 90s, throwing 99. You got the best pitching coach in the country. It's incredible. I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see some freshmen give you real innings. I think Grant Taylor is a really good candidate to be your closer to start the season. And while he could absolutely be a rotation guy, I think there's always comfort in knowing who you have to get you those last 3 outs. So yeah, man, it's coming, and they're going to be really good, man. Guy Brooks, good morning. Happy Saturday to you and your family. Same to you, Guy. Thank you. Strong side. Midweek games matter. No, they don't. Jeremy Weiss, sorry if you've already discussed it. And an idea when Brandon Ingram will be back. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can reference, Jeremy, is, we had Andrew Lopez on AFR a couple days ago, and we talked about BI, and he said they were expecting to get good news on an injury report later that day, and I haven't seen it, but maybe that seems like that's imminent, that they're going to get BI back soon. I would assume you got a 5-game road swing coming up, that they get him back on the floor at some point during this road swing. Kyle Milliken, I'm so ready for some LSU baseball. That can be good, man. Ronnie Dugas, what's up, man? Good morning. Okay, a couple more. Smash that like button if you would on YouTube. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Blaine Smith, love, win, and in. Last week of the NFL game should be competitive. Mark, Apollo Creed, and the Fonz from Happy Days are in New Orleans today, meeting fans at the convention center downtown. Okay. All right. And yes, I believe Dennis Allen will be back next year. I don't know if I agree with that. Mark said 30,000 in the Dome tomorrow. I don't believe that. I think they'll have more than 30,000. Saints, Panthers divisional game, last game of the season. I think they'll have more than 30,000. All right, y'all. Today we are also taking down the outside Christmas decorations. I think we're the last house in the neighborhood that still has Christmas decorations up. We got like our Santa Claus, our reindeer. It's a good week after New Year's. We still got the Christmas decorations. Anyway. All right, last one. Von Bluesman, morning, Matt. I've been out for a week. How many more players can LSU sign to fill up the football roster, with the exception of leaving a couple open for great portal players? Yeah, so Von, remember, the hard cap's gone. So you're no longer capped at 25. You can sign as many players as you want. You just can't go over 85 on the roster. So, and remember, like, it may even be a thing where that roster purge or players are processed, if you want to say it that way, after spring. So the answer to your question is as many as they need to get players they want. So there's like the only hindrance to that in the past was your hard cap at 25. Now, I mean, remember, like, even something like you have walk-ons that you could have awarded a scholarship because you have scholarships open. You could not renew that grant and aid for a year and give that to a transfer player, right? I mean, I'm not saying they will do that, and I don't think they're at 85 yet, but because not only you have guys going pro, you have guys in the transfer portal, all that frees up spots. Your graduation, and then you were already like 10 under the number last year. I think Brian Kelly said they were at like 76, 77, something like that. So they were, let's call it 8 under the number last year. And then if you lose 30 guys this year, due to draft, graduation, portal, all that stuff, that frees up theoretically 38 spots, right? You have 38 spots open. Well, you've got more to go, basically. Yeah, Carlos, football, they've taken away the hard cap for recruiting. That's forever. That's not a COVID thing. That's a rule they implemented moving forward. Man, I was about to go and y'all just keep coming with more. That's okay. Shane O'Mac, hypothetically, the Saints do land the Cardinals' number 5 pick. Looks like it could be Will Levis if Young and Stroud are both gone. How do we like his pro prospects? I don't get it. I think eye test has to matter. I've watched the guy play football, and I don't think he's been great. So I don't get the top 5 projection for Levis. Can we make LSU Tennessee the national championship series and skip the formalities? Reed, remember, Tennessee was the best team in the country last year. Didn't even make it to Omaha. So go play it, man. All right. Thank you, Vaughn. Appreciate that. All right, now I think we're actually done. Sean said to take a Gervais. Yeah, Paul Gervais is gone. Gervais initially announced he was going to come back, and then after the draft, and then ultimately, I think he signed with the Mets. The Mets drafted him, and they came back and offered him like they offered him over slot and he signed. Yeah, so Paul Gervais is not. All right, y'all. I think we are done. Y'all have an awesome, awesome Saturday. Thanks as always for watching. Shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing. Hudco is pinned in the chat on YouTube and Facebook. Please click that link. Take 30 seconds, fill out the form. We'd love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Restored Motions. If you have pain, book a session with Crystal Poche at restoredmotions.com. And ProCharge EV. Remember, go to the ProCharge EV Instagram account. Follow the Instagram account and be on the lookout for the post that should be coming later today on how you can enter to win 2 seats to the LSU First Pitch Banquet at the ProCharge table with Terrio and me and others. So, okay, y'all have an awesome, awesome day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you. Peace.